So I have a wonderful book, that The Art of Strategy, a game theorist guide to success in business and life, book by Avinash Dixit and Barry Nalebuff. Certainly, The Art of Strategy by Avinash Dixit and Barry Nalebuff, is a compelling exploration of game theory and its practical applications, in business and life. The book provides a framework for strategic thinking, helping readers here anticipate outcomes and make better decisions, right? Okay, game theory fundamentals here. The book explains how interdependent decisions making, fact becomes in various fields from economics to social interactions. Nash Equilibrium here, a concept where each player's strategy, is the best response to others, right? Ensuring stability in competing situation, right? Prisoner's dilemma here are classic examples of how individual self-interest, can lead towards outcomes, right, compared to cooperation. Strategic moves here, the author discuss tactics, like credible commitments and reputation built to influence outcomes. Real world application here, the book influences, a case study and examples from business, politics and everyday life to illustrate game theory principles. So would you like a deeper dive into any specific concept? I can help break it down further. So yeah, let's dive into it. What are some real life examples of game theory in action? Game theory is everywhere, right? Okay, game theory is everywhere. So here are some fascinating and thrilling real life applications, right? Okay, building at actions, whether it's an art auction or an online bidding war. Okay, so participants strategies. Okay, participant strategize based on expecting bids from others. Okay, salary negotiation here, employees and employers engage in strategic bargaining with weighing offers and counter offers. Stock market decisions here, investors anticipate market movements based on competitors' action. Product pricing strategies, so companies set prices while considering competition's reaction to maximize profit. Political campaign here, candidates strategize their messaging and alliances based on voters behavior and opponent tactics. Buy a car, buyers and sellers negotiate, each trying to get the best deal while considering the other strategies. Prisoner's dilemma in business, so companies must decide here whether to cooperate or compete, affecting industry dynamic, right? So here, what are the basic concept of game theory? So game theory is the study of strategic interaction, where the outcome for each participant depends on the actions of others. So here are the basic concept. Players first, the decision makers in a game, which can be individuals, companies or nations. Strategies here, the possible actions each player can take. Payoffs, the rewards or consequences of different strategies. Equilibrium, a stable state, where no player benefits from changing their strategy, unilaterally. Example here, Nash Equilibrium. Type of games here, zero-sum games, right? One player's gain in another's loss, right? Okay, non-zero sum games here, players can cooperate for mutual benefit. Simultaneous versus here, sequential games, players act at the same time or in turns. Dominate strategy here, a strategy that always provides the best outcome regardless of others' choice. Prisoner's dilemma, a famous example showing how rational individual might not cooperate even when it benefits them. You can explore more details, right? So I'm just exploring the more details. If you want them, please stay tuned. Okay, what are the some here connections between game theory and psychology? Game theory and psychology intersect in fascinating ways, particularly in understanding decision making, behavior and strategic interactions. Here are the some key connections. So cognitive biases in strategy or psychological biases, like loss aversion and confirmation biases, right, influence here how people make a strategic choices in games and real life. Social dilemma here, concepts like the prisoner's dilemma, right, illustrate how trust, cooperation and here competitive shape human interaction. Behavioral game theory. Unlike traditional game theory, which assumes rational players, behavioral game theory incorporates emotions, heuristics and bounded rationality. Reciprocity and fairness. Psychological game theory explores how altruism, fairness and reputation affect strategic decisions, right? So negotiation and the persuasion. Game theory helps explains psychological tactics used in negotiation here, such as anchoring and your framing of effects, right? Evolutionary psychology. Many strategies behaviors like a tit for tat cooperation, right, have roots in evolutionary survival mechanism. Okay, so how is game theory used in real world negotiation? Game theory plays a crucial role in real world negotiations, right, helping individuals and businesses make strategy decisions. Here are some key application here. Bargaining strategies. So negotiators here use game theory models to predict the other party's move and adjust their approach accordingly. Prisoner's dilemma in business deal here. Companies must decide whether to cooperate or complete, balancing trust and risk. Auction strategies here. Businesses bidding for contracts and resources. The game theory of optimizing their offers. Salary negotiation here. Employees and employers engage in strategic bargaining, right? So here considering counter offers and long-term benefits, right? International trade agreements. Country use game theory principles to negotiate trade deals, ensuring mutual benefits. So here price wars is here. Companies analyze competitors pricing strategies to determine whether to march uncut or differentiate. So yeah. So here the art of strategy by Avinash Dixit and here Barry Nalebuff is not just a book, it's a transformative guide to understanding and applying strategic thinking in a way that can profoundly influence your life. By immersing yourself in the principles of game theory presented in this book, you can develop a new lens through which to approach challenges, make decisions and interact with others. So here understanding strategic thinking. At its core, the art of strategy helps readers grab the fundamentals of game theory. A study of strategic interactions where the outcome of a situation depends on the actions of multiple participants. This understanding is the foundation of mastering decisions making in areas like business, relationships and personal growth, right? By learning to anticipate the actions of others and plan accordingly, you can here make informed decisions that maximize your outcomes, predict and influence the behavior of others, whether in negotiation or collaboration. Okay, so reduce uncertainty by understanding the motives and strategies of other players involved, right? So key concepts of life application, right? For life application, I mean to say. So here the book introduces several games theory concepts that can directly impact your personal and professional life. Nash Equilibrium here teaches you to recognize stable outcomes where no participant benefits from changing their strategy along. Practical use here is this concept is invaluable in relationships and teamwork here, where mutual benefits leads to lasting collaboration. Prisoner's dilemma here, right? So demonstrate how self-interest can lead to worse outcomes compared to cooperation. Practical use here learn to foster trust and cooperation, where the learn to foster trust and cooperation, right, which are critical for resolving conflicts and building here strong connections. Strategy moves here highlights tools like credible commitments, reputational building and here differences. So here practical use use these moves to negotiate better deals, establish a leadership and create a personal brand. So backward induction is here encourages thinking in reverse, right, starting from the desired outcomes and planning backward to the present, right? So practical use here, this is the powerful tool for goal setting, project management and here envisioning long-term success. So real life transformation is here career advancements. I will start from the career advancement. So in the workplace here game theory helps to navigate office politics, negotiate salaries and make strategic careers moves, right? By example here by understanding competitive dynamics, you can position yourself as a key contributor or decision maker. Negotiation mastery. Game theory equips you with tools to analyze our counterparts strategies predict their moves and secure favorable outcomes. Example, use these insights in salary discussion, business deals, or even daily interactions like buying a car. Leadership and influence here, strategic thinking fosters clarity in decision making, helping you inspire and guide teams effectively. Example here, use the concept of repetition building to establish yourself as a trustworthy and visionary leader. Conflict resolution here, game theory helps you identify win-win solution and navigate difficult conversation. So example here, apply these principles to here mediate disputes in personal relationship and professional setting. So financial and life planning here, use game theory to anticipate challenges, optimize investments, and ensure a secure plan and for the secure future, right? Okay, so example here, apply backward inductions to map out retirement goals and create a realistic action. So transformative mindset shift here, the true power of the art of strategy lies not just in teaching tactics but it encouraging strategic mindset, right? So it challenges you to think ahead, consider alternatives and focus on long-term benefits rather than short-term gains, right? By adopting this mindset here, you can cultivate resilience in the face of adversity, advance your ability to innovate and adapt, build meaningful relationships rooted in trust and mutual understanding. Actionable steps to implement the book's lesson here, to fully interact to fully here integrate the book's teachings into your life, right? So analyze your goals here, identify areas where strategic thinking can create the most impact. Example, career, relationships, and finances. Okay, practice. So here, practice decisions analysis, before making a major decisions, make out possible actions here, reactions and outcomes. Embrace cooperation, look for opportunities to collaborate and create mutual beneficial outcomes even with competitors. Okay, reflect and refine here, right? Regularly review past decisions, right? Assess their outcomes and learn from both success and mistakes, right? So here, experiment strategically, right? Test new approaches in low stakes, okay, scenarios to refine your skills. So the conclusion of the point is here, the art of strategy is more than a guide, to game theory. It's a blueprint for navigating life with foresight, intelligence and purpose. By mastering the concept of this book, right? So you will unlock the ability to approach challenges strategically, make better decisions, and foster stronger connections with those around you. So the principles of game theory are not just tools for success but key to empowerment, enabling you to design the life you envision actually. So how does that sound? So if you had liked, I can explore specific examples here, that what is a strategy, of arts, right? Strategy is an art of sacrifice. Before you decide, what you will do, you have to decide what you want. So Albert Campus famously said that, our lives are the sum of the choice we make. The same whole trust, for organizations here, right? So strategy here, the art of sacrifice, that, strategy at its course here, is the art of making choices, right? Okay, it involves here identifying not only what you will pursue but more importantly what you will deliberately forego. Sacrifice is an integral aspect of strategic decisions. Making success often demands a clear understanding of what must be excluded to maintain focus and allocate resources effectively, right? So Albert Camus eloquently stated that our lives are the sum of the choices we make, right? The same principles hold true for organizations. The trajectory of any business or institution is shaped by strategic decisions it makes, right? So here, decisions rooted in prioritizations and acknowledgement of trade-offs. Okay, the essence of your strategies lies in its disciplined approach to decision making. It requires clarity of purpose, alignment with long-term objectives, and the courage, to say no to opportunities or initiatives that do not contribute to the overarching goals. The ability of sacrifice ensures that the efforts remain concentrated on areas that drive meaningful impact and sustainable success. So what is the art of strategy? In summary, the art of strategy 2008 introduces a game theory and its application to thinking strategy, effective life and business choice, right, as well as social level dilemmas. Okay, so here the art of strategy, a game theorist's guide to success in business and life, serves as both an introduction to game theory and practical guide to apply its principles in everyday life decisions making, right. This book here is an updated and expanded version of the author's earlier work, thinking strategically enriched with new insights and examples. So key themes and the concept here, game theory fundamentals here. The book explains the science of interdependent decisions making, where the choice of one individuals or organizations are influenced by the action of others. Strategic thinking here, the author focus on cultivating and a strategic mindset that involves here anticipating the moves and the counter moves for others. Application to real life here, the principle of game theory are applied to various domains, including business strategies, social dilemmas, negotiation, and even personal relationships. Understanding social dynamics, the books provides here frameworks for analyzing and resolving conflicts that arise from competitive interests. Okay, notable examples and models here, concepts like Nash Equilibrium, prisoner's dilemma, and here backward inductions are explained through relatable real world scenarios. Okay, so objective of the books here, the author aimed to help readers navigate complex decisions by understanding the structure of strategic interactions. By applying the game of theory here, individuals can optimize their outcomes for fostering cooperation and fairness. So this book is an invaluable resources for anyone seeking to enhance their decision making skills and approach challenges with a strategic perspective. So would you like it or not? What do you think? So that the art of strategy is actually a beneficial book for the success, for the theorist's guide to success in business and in life as well. So yeah, thank you so much.